even being in session. And we were talking about this, and forgive me, right now, I think there's about 26 vaccines we're required to get for enrollment for kindergarten. I think that's the right number. And so whether or not this becomes a part of that list, I think there's going to be some dialogue about that. I don't know if Oregon's going to follow California's lead. I don't know if that's going to be a topic of discussion, but there's a list already, right, that you've got to have before students are allowed to attend or to come in for kindergarten. So I want to give people that haven't had a chance to talk yet first. So I'm going to go right over here to Ellen, and then I'll come back to you, Wendy. Okay.
I have been able to find what is the temperature that the kids are not going outside.
Oh, good God! You know if you Google this, I'm sorry, Ellen. You're right. I interrupted you. You say your question again. I interrupted.
What's the temperature? The first one time it was 20 degrees that they were going to be sending the kids outside to have their meals, and I haven't seen what the temperature is now.
Yes. So the question is, where's the threshold where we cut off outdoor lunch?
We haven't even seen a policy. I asked for a policy. I've yet to see it.
So I'm going to answer it. Okay. So we pushed that out. I don't know when it was, a while back. It's 45 degrees for outdoor lunch, or when the wind chill drops below 40. Okay. Okay. Wendy. Go.
I just follow. I just want to say I too promote volunteers. We talk about the teachers don't have plan time. They've got to clean their rooms. They're taking time away from the kids' education, and I know what that planning time means to teachers. If we have volunteers in the cafeterias, in the common areas, they're a huge resource that needs to be used. And you can ask for vaccine, information, I'm sure, but we need to get those volunteers back. Yeah.
So come drive a bus for us too, Ellen. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you. Go ahead, Wendy.
Following Mr. Luttrell's...
Yeah, Wendy.
Oh, sorry. Following Mr. Luttrell's comment about the benches, you mentioned that you were willing to work on solutions for the school. But my kids don't go to the school, and they're also sitting on the ground outside. Can we have solutions for all schools?
We sure can. Okay. All right. Have you talked? Okay. State your name.
Gary Young, parent of 2 students here at Three Rivers.
Thank you, Gary.
I've done several things regarding the eating situation. I've had very good dialogue with the principal, Mr. Tim Broadbent here. I've also sent an email to the board of directors on the listening forum. I'm not sure the exact PC term for that. I got back several answers, and they don't jive. The answer I got back from the board of the directors was this policy was created with Association of NOAA, N-O-A-A. That's the, we all know what NOAA is. They do weather forecasting. And then local health authorities. I gotta wonder if NOAA is responsible for making decisions on what's safe and not safe. My question was, wouldn't a doctor be a little more responsible for saying what's a safe temperature for my kid to sit on asphalt outside, on the ground in the dirt with flies on his food and yellow jackets on his face and eat his lunch? That's my question. I asked for a policy on the eating policy. You guys created it. Where is it? I asked in my email, can I see it? No response. I talked to Mr. Tim Broadbent about why can't they just come in and eat inside here, and what is the policy? His response was, and he was very positive, I'm following, my hands are tied, of course, and I gotta have them eat outside. When I can't bring them inside, they can't eat in the cafeteria, that's not safe. They have to eat in the classroom. And I said, well, that seems counterproductive. This cafeteria is ginormous. And you can see that we have plenty of people in here. We're spaced, we're 6 feet. The kids, per the policy, for the state, for Governor Brown, our fearless leader, it's 3 feet, not 6 feet. So, and he agreed with me, it would be much safer to bring the children into the ginormous cafeteria here at Three Rivers, let them space out at 3 feet apart, and have a lunch. Instead, we're jamming into the classrooms. They're not maintaining 3 feet. They're eating, they're dropping food on the floor, as Danielle, a teacher who teaches here, has seen firsthand. And now you're contaminating classroom after classroom after classroom after classroom. So those are all valid concerns, and I've yet to get any real true answers to any of those questions.
back there. Yes, right back there.
Hi,
What's your name?
I'm Cassie, and I have a question in the summit,
Okay, Cassie, last name too? Lorsch? Cassie Lorsch, okay.
and a fifth grader at Kennex. So my question is a policy question, so I guess that goes to them.
Yeah, then why don't you come up here so we can, or at least let me give you here. I'll just give you the mic. I'll give you the mic. Sorry.
If everybody could use the microphone, it would be helpful because we are recording. And so that will make it easier for the listening audience in the future to have been able to hear the question.
Okay, so it's a policy question. Both my children have come home saying that all their teachers are talking about the vaccine. They're not teaching math. Sorry, I'm like, about this.
Got it.
Sorry?
I said, you've got it. Go
Okay, thanks. Yeah, they come home and they're scared and they don't want to talk about it. It's just, there's nothing happening. All the teachers are using the statistics and science, and yeah, and I don't, what is the policy? I don't understand why that's okay. And so, it's not okay. And it's separating, again, it's dividing our people, it's dividing the classrooms, and I'm just curious.
Okay, that's, yeah, that's.
That was a question, right?
That's not a policy. That's something for us to address. That's something for me to address.
Can you address that?
No, not address here. That's like a staffing thing. Okay. Shelley's been patient.
It's a simple question. So you mentioned when you get local control, and I'm just curious what are you doing to fight for the local control to be returned? And two, what are the metrics that we need to meet to get local control as far as you know?
That's the question I've been asking for. There's going to be an off-ramp for the state, and right now we don't know the answer to that. What are their triggers? Is it going to be a statewide decision? Is it going to be based upon hospitalization rates and transmission rates, county by county or region? Those are the kind of questions that we're asking them. And so we haven't gotten feedback on that yet. There's discussion, I think, that's pending. The one thing that we did get was an email that was kind of a double down that right now, at least the Central Oregon, kind of the 3 counties in Central Oregon are right now actually on the way back up a little bit on the transmission rates. And so there was not just to us, but a message that came from the state that was, we're entering flu season, we're entering, winter time when people are going to be much more indoors in large groups and the risk is higher. And so what I inferred from that, this is my inference and nothing else, I'll just tell you that what that meant to me was they're not prepared to talk about that at this point, but we'll see. And so I'll tell you, if and when we get an answer, we'll be sure to communicate that. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Oh, it's Nicole.
Hi, my name is Nicole Murphy, and I just wanted to also add to the eating outside. When I was at Pilot Butte last year, what was really difficult there was the kids were eating outside. We had some that were inside, but we had to limit the numbers. But actually what happened last year was a big gust of wind came up and blew a desk at a bunch of kids, and they all luckily got out of the way. But I guess my question is, when you're outside and it's stormy and windy and cold and something happens to a kid, that's not probably a good idea. So I feel like I agree. I think the kids need to be eating inside. It's way too cold, and they were all freezing, and I felt like the parents were going to be really upset about it.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. All right, I think.
Do you have one against the wall?
Where? Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna. Mindy, you've already talked twice. All right,
Rory Blumenshine. I have 3 boys here. My daughter's at Summit. And I talked to a principal in the state of Oregon, not this school, not even in this district. And he said to his employees, his staff, if your children, your students know what your political beliefs are, if they know what your beliefs are on COVID, then you're not doing your job. It hit me really hard because it's true. There's coaches, or there's not coaches, there's teachers in this school and multiple schools, Summit and Caldera in here, that are coaching their kids about the vaccine. They're manipulating the kids about the vaccine and trying to talk them into it. That's number one. Number two, the lunch is outside. How many on the board here takes their butts outside, their reins outside when it's cold and get your lunch on the asphalt? Not one of you. Okay, I'll speak for you there that way. I'm trying to be nice, okay? Number two, have any of you come to this school and gone outside and eat your lunches when these kids are out here? Not only kids, but teachers. Okay? Number three, why haven't you gotten tents? Okay? In my business, I have a professional responsibility and liability to take care of my customers. If they're coming in the door and there's yellow jackets everywhere outside and they're waiting outside because they don't want to wear a mask, it is my responsibility to remove those yellow jackets and get the people out here to take care of that problem. So I'm hearing a lot of excuses, I hear a lot of what ifs, a lot of planning, and a lot of we'll talk about it down the road, but I haven't heard any solutions to anything.
Yeah,
I did miss the beginning of this, I'm sorry I was late, but I wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. Tim, did you had your hand up earlier? Are you good? Okay. Can you state your name and school you're affiliated with, please?
Tim Bronman, Three Rivers School, and I just wanted to add that Mr. Luttrell, there's Luttrells and Luttrells, but one of the Mr. Luttrells I spoke with did make an offer to make picnic tables, and it wasn't that I declined the offer, it was kind of in my recollection that I said it'd be a lot of picnic tables and that would be a big task. But one of his suggestions was putting chairs out for the kids. We did do 150 chairs outside, and we did provide a place for kids to eat every day, not sitting on the ground. The bees were definitely an issue. Our custodial staff put out non-pesticide bee catchers. And at this point now, we still are eating in our cafeteria. We have 18 tables that, if we seat kids 6 feet apart, seat 76 kids. So that doesn't seat every kid for a K2, 3-5, or 6-8 lunch. So in that sense, we are doing overflow into the classrooms. And every teacher has kids eating in the room because we're splitting a class in half. So that speaks to Danielle's point too. So we are doing our best to spread our kids out and keep them safe. Just so everyone understands. And we did move inside permanently indoors 2 weeks ago and do not plan on eating outside even if we do get the occasional warm day. We just want the kids to have consistency and the time to eat their lunches. So that's where we're at right now and where we've come from.
Sure, the principal gets clapped up. Okay. All right, we haven't heard from this gentleman. Oh, you have, Corey, you talked.
One real simple question.
Mic up.
One real question that's really simple is why is our board chosen to use the 6 feet social distancing when the state of Oregon themselves and the Department of Education, they're using 3 feet. So if we're using 6 feet here and we use 3 feet, we can fit in twice as many students and still be safe according to the state of Oregon.
So Gary, I can address that specifically. The 3 feet guidance that goes for student to student, essentially what it means is close contact. That only applies when you're in a teaching classroom environment. And we actually have had a lot of struggles with that because when you're in a bus, when you're in any other environment, it's 6 feet. And that's been a significant challenge. And we've been pushing back on that. I'm answering his question, ma'am. So that's the answer to it. We've pushed, we've asked for, can we have 3 feet as a general guideline so that it's not just the place where there's 6.5 hours a day, but the whole entirety of the day. And I can assure you, we're not making rules up that.
Why can't you push harder? Like, what's going to happen to you?
We're with you.
We're behind you. We can help.
I thank you for that support. I thank you for that support.
But are you going to get fired? I mean, what are you worried about?
It's a law.
Priority number one.
It's a law. That's
it's
right
not a
now.
law. It's
Yeah,
priority
it
number
has
one.
the authority of law.
You're wrong.
Okay. All right. One more. Tell me your name and the school you're affiliated with, please.
My name is Courtney Eastman, and I have 2 boys that come here to Three Rivers, kindergarten and 3rd grade. I don't like public speaking, so this is not my forte, but I just wanted to reiterate to the board. I did watch that work session that you guys had discussing the lunch plan, and I could tell that there was mixed feelings amongst you guys. But for me, when my boys come home, earlier, the problem's been resolved now, but earlier in the fall, we had a yellow jacket problem, as many parents here have spoken to. For me, it's the rigidness of the ruling. I would like to see Dr. Cook and our wonderful principal be able to make quick decisions on the day. I trust that you guys have the best interests for our kids at heart, and I felt a little bit disheartened by some of the comments that the board made. It made me feel like you guys didn't trust our principals and our administrators, and we all know that schools have tons of administrators, and we all love our kids. And so I would like to see more control, particularly pertaining to if there's a safety issue, like yellow jackets, that our principals or our superintendent could make quick decisions. Mr. B is amazing. He immediately called me back, like within like 20 minutes of my email to him, so this is not a dig on him at all. I appreciate him so much, and I just would like to see the board maybe have a little bit more faith in our administrators.
Thank you. Sure. Corey wants clarification on one thing.
You mentioned previously, and I forget, I'm sorry, your name, you mentioned metrics from the powers that be that we're going to relinquish control to local. So if at your level you still don't know what the rules to the game are, how are we supposed to be able to support that, and how are we as a community supposed to know what success looks like? I mean, to come in the game every single day not knowing
what the game is.
How do we win? How do we get to where we want to be? That is extremely frustrating. If you told us what the rules were, even if they were unrealistic and unachievable, at least we've set that baseline standard that we know. And I feel like a lot of us just don't know what the rules are. And so how do we play the game?
No, that's fair. And that's part of that is Julianne and serves as our COVID guru, if you will. And